I've had a lot of exposure at university and in my personal life to the yes and the no campaigns, and I've changed my mind. I've seen the bullying, the abuse, the absolute vile comments that come out of the yes side, and it is no longer a movement that I can support or take seriously. My main concern with the consequences of redefining marriage is what happens next. You've got organisations such as Get Up, who have been relentlessly bullying no campaigners over the last few months. They've amassed an extraordinary amount of resources to put into this campaign, and if we legitimise this behaviour and pass a yes vote on same-sex marriage on the back of this kind of vile abuse, I'm concerned about who they go after next. I think that's completely wrong. I think you shouldn't judge heterosexual couples who are unmarried. You don't treat de facto heterosexual couples as any less. So I think it's a false argument that gay people are treated as an underclass for not getting married. Coming out as a conservative was definitely more difficult than coming out as a gay man for me. By and large, society as it stands seems to be much more accepting of homosexuals than it does of people who support traditional values. In terms of cohesion, in terms of activists and people involved in groups like Brisbane Pride, Rainbow Labour, LGBTIQ interest groups around Brisbane, they are more than happy to welcome anyone and tolerate their beliefs until you disagree with them. You get attacked online, you get people making comments about your mental health, which is something I never expected to hear from these people that preach tolerance. I've had people say that I only believe the things that I do because I come from a broken family, that I have internalised homophobia, that I hate myself, I'm suicidal, I'm depressed, all kinds of absolutely vile comments. And I just think it's a shame that this kind of free, reasonable debate doesn't exist within the gay community. It's either you agree with this overarching authority or you're completely shunned and your voices are ignored. But it is extremely disappointing that we apparently can't have a sensible debate about issues like this that do affect us, and that there are members of the gay community who have contrary views on it. By and large, I think the debate around the same-sex marriage plebiscite so far has been all the points I've heard from groups such as the Coalition for Marriage, the Australian Christian Lobby. While people obviously disagree with them, I think they've been respectful, well thought out, pretty well justified. They focus on things like same-sex marriage, where it's very easy to say, if you disagree with this, you're a bad person, you're evil, and you're going to be ostracised, and use that as a way of getting out of talking about the issues that actually matter to Australians. I think politicians and the media patronise the LGBTIQ whatever community. And I think a clear example of that is when the debate around whether or not we have a plebiscite first started, and Labor and the Greens were coming out saying it's going to be hurtful, it's going to be divisive, it's not going to be good for gay Australians. I think that it's really patronising and condescending to think that the gay community should be sheltered from this kind of speech which these people deem to be too offensive for them to handle. I just think they're worried. I think that they have their own agenda. They will do whatever they think is necessary to protect it and act self-righteous, and that they're the only option, and they can't handle somebody standing up and questioning them. There is a reason that traditional marriage has been tradition for so long in the world. I would say that I was listening to Tony Abbott's comments when the postal plebiscite was first announced, when he said, if you support freedom of speech and you want to fight against political correctness, you should vote no. And I absolutely agree with those comments. I think he hit it right on the head, that if you want to send a clear message to organisations like Get Up, leftist activist groups that seek to stifle debate and stop their opposition from talking, the easiest way you can do that is to vote no and send a clear message to these people.